Hello, everyone, and welcome back to PS You Need a Vacation. My name is Greg Schroeder, travel agent with PS Family Vacations, and also joining me this week is PS Family Vacations owner and fellow travel agent Amy Perry. How are you doing?
Doing great. Just got off the most amazing trip ever.
I heard. I hope we hear a lot about that this week.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. First on this week's agenda will be, of course, our agent spotlight, which we have Amy Perry here. She got back from an AMAwaterways River Cruise, and we're going to be getting a lot more detail about that, what countries she visited, what excursions she went on, and learn more about AMAwaterways and their river cruises. So if that's something you guys are interested in, we can definitely help out with that. Next, lately we've been focusing on a lot of Disney promos, but with Amy coming back from AMAwaterways, we're actually going to talk about some promos that they are offering. So let's get started. Now, before we do get started, I wanted to share the PS You Need a Vacation podcast is brought to you by all the incredible agents with PS Family Vacations, the dreamers of your next stress-free vacation. If you'd like to support our content and either not sure where to start your own vacation planning or just don't have the time, please consider benefiting from the experience and enthusiasm of any of the incredible PS Family Vacations travel agents. So to start your theme park, cruise, all-inclusive resort, and European river cruise adventure today, please visit psfamilyvacations.com. All right, Amy, definitely glad to have you here again today. As you know, a big part of this podcast is we want to keep all of our clients informed of what they need to know about their next vacation, and European river cruises is no different. So first off, tell us, what rivers did you sail and what countries did you visit?
Well, actually, we just did one river this time. We did the Rhine. I've actually also done the Danube. So at some point, I would love to compare the two now that I've done both. But this time we did the Rhine.
Awesome. So what were some of your favorite destinations or excursions?
Well, first of all, we went to four different countries, which was absolutely amazing. We started in Switzerland, and then we went to France, Germany, and the Netherlands. I would say Switzerland was my all-time favorite. And if I had to pick one out of the four countries to go back to first, that would be it. We had the most beautiful weather and the snow-capped Alps. Went to Grindelwald and Murin and Lauterbrunnen, and saw some amazing waterfalls. And we got to paraglide in
Wow.
Interlaken,
Mm-hmm.
which was amazing just to watch everybody come down the mountain. And that was definitely my favorite day.
Did you paraglide too?
I actually didn't this time, but a couple in our group did. So
Okay.
I want to.
Uh-huh.
So next time.
Yeah. Oh, that would have to definitely be a memory to be up in the air like that through the mountains. Incredible location to do that in.
Yes. So, and then probably my second would be Strasbourg, France. We went through Le Petit, France, and that was just so beautiful. And the little timber framed houses, just straight out of a fairy tale. In fact, Beauty and the
Mm-hmm.
Beast was actually designed by this place in France.
Wow.
So I'm sure that's why it was my second favorite.
Excellent. Now, Switzerland's definitely a place I need to get back to. The one time I've been to Switzerland, I drug my family there to go to Zermatt. And for those of you who don't know, Zermatt is at the base of the Matterhorn. And so, of course, that was a bucket list item of mine to see the Matterhorn. However, unfortunately, we were only there for one night. And of course, even in June, it was totally cloudy that day. And even the next morning, we got up to leave, it was still cloudy. So all the locals were pointing up at where the Matterhorn would be. And of course, all we saw were some clouds. Amazing trip.
Yes.
That was just one of like 10 different locations inspired by Disney theme parks around the world. And my family didn't even know, but they still had a
Yes.
great trip too.
The one wonderful thing about Switzerland now is they do have that weather where the fog and the clouds kind of set in. We just
Mm-hmm.
happen to have the most beautiful sunny day with no clouds in the sky. But they
Hmm.
do have at the tops of all the mountains now, they have cams. So you can check before you head out that day to
Hmm.
know if you should go to the top of the mountain or head in that direction if the weather is good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
Excellent.
nice.
That's a great
Yeah.
tip. Yeah. Thank you, Amy. All right. Anything else you want to share about the excursions or the destinations before we move on to the ship?
I would say every excursion is included on AMAwaterways. And I did want
Mhm.
to mention the reason we got started with AMAwaterways. So we started as a Disney only travel agency specializing in Disney, but they partner with AMAwaterways for their Adventures by Disney.
Mhm.
And we went to a seminar sponsored by Disney so that we could learn all why Adventures by Disney uses AMAwaterways for
Mhm.
their river cruises.
Yeah, there's a lot of
And
other choices out there. So, yeah,
there
there must be
is,
a good reason.
and our very first river cruise we did last year, we were on with several travel agents that had done all of um, the different river cruise companies. Not saying they're
Mhm.
bad, just kind of understanding the differences. And
Mhm.
it really is the Disney difference. And Disney would not pick a product unless it was amazing. And
Mhm.
so
Of
that's the
course.
reason we decided to start with AMAwaterways. And we just had the most incredible experience last year. So we decided to do it again this year.
Mhm.
And there was just two of us last year, but this year we took 30 people and did our very first group river cruise for our company. So, and it was an amazing success.
Excellent. And next July, you guys are planning to go back?
Yes, we have another group that's going to be going in July.
Mhm.
We have two teachers from our agency that are sponsoring that one because they can't go during the school year.
Mhm.
And then we are also planning another one sometime either in October or going back for the Christmas markets at the end of November or early December. So
Mhm.
more to come on that.
Excellent. I'm going to try next fall for the Christmas market one. Did you get to see any Christmas markets this time? Was it close enough to the season?
It was very close.
Okay.
Cologne, we got to go to like 8 to 10 different booths that were open, but we got to see them all setting up. And many of the countries and cities we visited, there was Christmas lights and decorations everywhere. And we started November 11th.
Mhm.
So they were setting up everything. They didn't have the Christmas market booths open yet, except for they had opened 2 days early
Mhm.
while we were in Cologne.
Gotcha. So that's a good question. Clients may want to know if they are going for Christmas markets. How late in the year would you recommend they start their sailing?
They have dedicated Christmas market cruises. And they usually start the last week of November
Hmm.
and then go all the way through the Christmas holiday.
Got it. So to guarantee you'll see all of them, it's good to wait until later on in November, but you may see some sooner.
Yeah.
All right, sounds great. So, what ship were you on at Alma, and what were some of your favorite amenities, and maybe were there any that you expected to see that might have been missing?
We were on the Amamora, and this is their normal size ship. All of their ships are newer within the last 10 years. The Amamora was wonderful. I love the quaintness of the ship. There's only 77 rooms on board. So it's small and you get to know everyone on the ship. And they have two restaurants on the Mora, the main dining room and the chef's table. Our whole group fit into the chef's table one night and we did a huge celebration and it was wonderful. Chef prepares the meal right in front of you. So it's a
Hmm.
specialty restaurant that is included
Okay.
and everything is included on the ship. So they've got bathrobes, slippers, all of your, shower caps, sewing
Hmm.
kits, and all of your shampoo, conditioner. They even have curling irons, they have a hair dryer. So everything in your room is included. They give you little special gifts. They specialize in scarves for the women, these beautiful silk scarves. And they also give the men a cap and they give you little luggage tags and give you special chocolates every night on your pillow. 3 times a day, they clean your room.
Mm-hmm.
So you will never have trash in your room and your bed will always be made. You are always stocked with water during the day and at night.
Mm-hmm.
And
And I think you even mentioned there's no need for a beverage package or an alcoholic beverage package. All of that is included, right?
it is all included. So, like a mimosa for breakfast, and
Mm-hmm.
lunch, you can have a glass of wine, and dinner, you can have a beer if you like. And then every day from 6 to 7, they have a sip and sail cocktail hour. And so you can get any drink. You can get, Jack and Coke or anything you want they have champagne,
Huh?
everything during that sip and sail. So if you were to come during a different time, you would pay for a beverage, but you're really not on the boat at any other times except those. The other thing that I absolutely loved is we had several non drinkers in our group, and they have mocktails. So they have a
Mm-hmm.
cocktail of the day and they have a mocktail of the day. Yeah, so you can feel like you're still partaking in a celebration and it's something different. And then they do have
Mm-hmm.
and then they do have alcohol-free beer and alcohol-free wine.
Okay.
And they also have the sparkling cider. So if you want to do a toast, and actually the captain, when he does his toast for the
Mm-hmm.
captain's dinner, he obviously is still driving the boat. So
Mm-hmm.
he does a little sparkling cider and
Yeah.
toasts to everybody. But
Oh,
everybody still feels like they can be a part of the celebration every day.
yeah. That's great. That's something clients should know that not all river cruise companies include alcohol like that. Just like other ocean cruises, other river cruises do have an alcoholic beverage package that is extra that you do need to purchase, and it's so much per day. So that's great that AMAwaterways stands apart in offering that. I like that.
Yes, and all of the excursions are included, which is
Mm-hmm.
really nice. There's a lot to choose from. They've got a walking tour every day. They've got a hike
Mm-hmm.
for the more active people, and then they've got a bike for the even more active people.
That's good.
And the walking tours, they have gentle walkers. So anyone that it takes a little bit more time will, instead of making them walk to the castle, they actually get delivered in a minivan, and they don't have to go up steps and things like that. Then the regular walkers and then the active walkers, they walk a little faster and for a little bit longer.
Yeah. Uh-huh. With a little more endurance if they're familiar with that. So, are there any excursions that cost anything, or is it literally all included?
It is all included. So they have some late starter tours. So if you want to sleep in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and they usually have something in the morning. So you would go in the morning to eat your breakfast. You go for a morning excursion. You come back to the boat because it's so close, and you have lunch on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can choose to go out and do an afternoon tour. And then you come back and have dinner. And then sometimes in some stops, they actually have a special nighttime event. Or, for example, on this one of our nighttime events was at the Lynette Castle,
Mm-hmm.
and it was lit up literally in all candlelight.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really special that we got to tour it. And Alma Waterways is the only group that can tour that castle with candlelight at night.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, there's a high fire risk,
Okay.
but they have everything lit up in candles and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Wow, that
So,
speaks well for Alma because again, I can speak for other river cruises that I've helped clients book their vacations for and supported their itineraries. There are many excursions that are included, but there's also some special ones like a concert hall experience that is an added charge. So I think that's great that Alma Waterways doesn't ask for extra charges here and there.
right.
So it's not surprising Disney chose them.
Exactly. There's
Yep.
a lot of exclusive events that they have.
Great. All right. So, what advice would you have for someone else interested in a European river cruise?
I would say number one piece of advice is use a travel agent or someone
Hmm.
that has been there, because going and experiencing it, you learn so many things from, what to experience at each airport or what kind of money you need to have ahead of
Hmm.
time. Or, for example, we learned something on our cruise last year that we were extending and doing our own transportation, but we showed up at the train station and there was just a kiosk and it was all in German. And so learning about the different train apps,
Hmm.
thank goodness there was another fellow travel agent there who
Hmm.
said, "Hey, download this app and this is how you do it."
Uh-huh.
So, just learning little things from being there and doing
Hmm.
it, it makes a big difference. And obviously, there are a few agents in our agency that haven't been able to do one yet, but we all support each other. So we can all
You're
help
right.
each other.
Learning the train system over there in Europe and the subway system, it can be intimidating. Certainly, long before I was a travel agent on my first trip out to Europe, I had to I taught myself. You had to know the app, and I had the itinerary down to I was going to take this train to this place, this train to this place. So for me and my family, I had it all laid out in a notebook. Everyone's tickets were already purchased, and so they just had to show up and they knew where to go. But yeah, it's not something that you can just show up at a train station, that's for sure, and say, "Yeah, I'm trying to go to this city." Yeah, there is a bit more to it than that, and travel agents can definitely help out with that.
Yes.
So, what type of traveler do you think would probably enjoy this type of experience the most?
The type of traveler that this applies to, I would say m- most people on the cruise, the average age range about 40 to 70. We saw some younger people and some older people than this. Everyone in our group was within this age range, 40 to 70.
Hmm.
And everyone had a great time. Pretty much by the end of the cruise, you know everybody on the ship, which is nice because it's
Yeah.
so quaint. But that is the people that would love and benefit from this cruise the most is
Hmm.
that age range. And then also people wanting to relax and have everything completely taken care of for them. So just literally waking up and knowing where to go and what to do, and somebody's there taking care of everything the entire time.
Hmm. Did you see any families there at all with younger children?
So it's an absolute no for anyone
Okay.
5 and under.
Okay.
And then they recommend this cruise to people 16 and older. So if you've
Okay.
got a very mature 16, 18-year-old, absolutely they could
Hmm.
handle this. But there are no children's activities on the actual AMAwaterways River Cruise. So
Hmm.
you can do an AMAwaterways River Cruise through Adventures by Disney, and on those cruises, it's available for all ages. They have children's activities
Oh,
and they
okay.
take you to each port and do different things.
Hmm.
But it is nice when you're expecting to get away and there aren't any children. Uh,
Hmm.
it's really nice for adults.
Hmm.
And um,
Yeah, that's great advice to keep in mind. If you do have smaller children, go the Adventures by Disney route. I know Adventures by Disney do also offers escapes, which are their short-term 2 and 3 day city tours that you can do before your embarkation or after your disembarkation. You're taken around the city by a Disney tour guide, bringing the Disney touch that you're expecting in a theme park. It takes it to Hamburg, Germany, or wherever. You'll get that same level of service through Adventures by Disney.
right. And then the other thing I would say about what to expect is in the evenings, they do have entertainment, but it's not like a ocean cruise where it's five different things you can choose from and partying all night. That is not what this is about. It's definitely you're out all day exploring the cities. You come home, you have a nice meal, then they have entertainment in the evening. They had one night where it was orchestral music. And then another night they had a season 60s performer. He was hilarious, had everybody up and dancing. And then another night they have a entertainer. He was an amazing singer and he played the piano. And sometimes on some of the river cruises, they'll have locals come on board. For example, dancers and singers from Germany or Switzerland or things like that.
Hmm.
But mostly You relax in the lounge and you're watching the entertainment. We did get up and dance. We had a lot
Hmm.
of fun, but it's not like an ocean cruise experience. It's so much more relaxed and
Hmm.
I just love it.
Yeah, this does definitely sounds like a great opportunity to bring the great parts about ocean cruising, which is bringing your hotel room with you between the cities. But I think it's awesome that they also try to bring the culture from wherever you're visiting onto the ship in the evening. So you're totally immersed, not only during the day, but in the evenings, learning something about their crafts or their dancing and maybe tasting some of their food back on the ship.
I would say with each port, for example, when we were in Hungary, we had goulash that is a typical cuisine for them. And when we were in Germany, they tried schnitzel and spatzel
Hmm.
and strudel. And they do wine and beer
Hmm.
pairings
Yeah.
also with each country you're in. And so that's just really neat to get to
Hmm.
experience their cuisine in the port you're in.
Yeah, that's fascinating being immersed in the culture in all day. All right. Well, what would you say is the best time of year to travel on a European river cruise? Or is there one? Because I'm sure each season probably has its own benefits.
Last year we went in October, and I will say the weather was definitely better. The beautiful colors, the yellows and reds and oranges, and a lot of like even Switzerland was still very green.
Hmm.
We had like one day that was rainy, but the rest of it was just like jeans and maybe a lightweight jacket.
Hmm.
And November was cooler. We definitely had jackets, hats, gloves. So sometimes it's
Hmm.
snowing, which is also magical. We were warm the entire time as long as you dress right.
Cool.
October and November is also their down time. So a
Hmm.
lot of the people in European countries use this as their holiday time because it's in between the very busy summer season and the Christmas markets.
Hmm.
So this is when they go on vacation. So some of the shops weren't open in a few of the smaller towns, but there were no crowds. Easy to get reservations in some of the local restaurant for lunch.
Hmm.
Um, One of our guides had told us when we were in Rudesheim that during the Christmas markets, you can't get a reservation and there's people everywhere because it's just such a busy time to go there. But when we were there, October and November, it
Hmm.
was like we had the whole street to ourselves. So I really love going during that time because the weather's great, the colors are beautiful,
Hmm.
and some people love it to be warm. So you can go during the spring uh, or the summer as well. I
Yeah.
heard the
Hmm.
Tulips River Cruise is absolutely
Oh.
amazing in
Hmm.
late March and early April. So it just depends on where you're wanting to go, I guess. Summer through September and the Christmas markets are there more expensive. Peak seasons.
Yeah.
So that is why we picked October and November so we could get the best prices and the lowest crowds. That is why it's my favorite time to go.
Great. Excellent. All right. How much flexibility is there with the itinerary? Do they have a lot of choices for you? Did everybody find something that they enjoyed?
Between our 30 people that we took in our group, I would say it was about half and half on who wanted to do which excursions. So they typically have a late starter. So a couple of the days people decided to sleep in and do the late starters. And then their regular walking tours. Sometimes there's two and three choices of what you want to do. There's a tasting tour
Hmm.
and or there is a going to a specific museum or like in Cologne there was an architectural cathedrals tour. You could go on the walking tour of the city. So you have so many options on which walking tours you would like to do. And in each one, you can do the gentle walker, regular walking, or advanced
Hmm.
fast walking. And then you can also do your own thing. So if
Hmm.
nothing seemed interesting to you that day, which there's so many options, there were a couple in our group that decided they just wanted to go and explore the city on their own, which is
Hmm.
also fine.
Yeah.
So, and you can come and go to the ship at any time if you want to just come back for lunch and then go back out. It's within walking distance 90% of the time.
Mm-hmm. No, it's absolutely your vacation, so you can do whatever you want, and it's great. There's enough variety in the excursion activities that's kept everybody happy. And occasionally, when you just want to do your own thing, that's an option too. So, moving on to the last question here, what would you think is the best first-time river cruise experience for those who are not sure where to start? What would you advise for them?
Well, the two biggest rivers in Europe are the Rhine and the Danube. And you're seeing 4 and 5 countries on both of those. So I think that's probably the best place to start. And then after that, you can go on the Seine through France.
Mm-hmm.
That's just concentrated on one country.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's a Grand Europe that takes you all the way from Romania all the way up to Amsterdam, and you see 9 or 10 different countries. But then there's the more adventurous. They've got one that goes on the Nile, the
Wow.
Mekong, the
Uh-huh.
Magdalena through Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they've got one down the Douro in Spain and Portugal, and they've got African safaris. So there's so many things.
Mm-hmm.
I personally cannot wait to do the Nile. I'm waiting till things calm down a little bit with the conflicts going on,
Yeah.
but that is definitely next on my list
Yeah.
of the adventurous ones. But definitely starting with the Danube or Rhine. And then I was also going to talk a little bit about the differences in the Danube and the Rhine. So we did the Danube last year. We started in Budapest, which was absolutely beautiful. The Hungarian Parliament building was absolutely gorgeous. And you leave at night, and that was the most stunning visual I have ever seen on both of the river cruises. So taking off from there was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. I see all the uplighting they do on that building at night. It looks amazing.
Yes. And then they take you to Bratislava, Slovakia, which is a quirky little country and very fun, but there were a lot of coronations that took place there a long time ago. So it's really neat to see that. And then you go to Vienna, which was absolutely my favorite on the Danube. And you go into the Schönbrunn Palace. And then we also had a special event that night, Mozart and Strauss concert, which getting to see that in that country was just amazing. Um, and then you get to go to the Dürnstein Castle in Austria, where Richard the Lionheart was held captive. And then we went to Spitz, Austria, where the Melk Abbey is. And we also went to a wine event that night where the locals had their lederhosen and the accordion and played Edelweiss, and
Mm-hmm.
just also one of my favorite events. And then we went to Linz, and you could pick an excursion, a full day excursion on this one. And you could either go to Salzburg and do the Sound of Music tour, or you can go to Czechi Krumlov and experience Czechoslovakia. So that is another country you could add to that trip. So that would have been a fifth country if you decided to do that. And then it went on to Vilshofen, and you got an actual authentic Oktoberfest.
Mm-hmm.
So Munich is so close, and my best friend and I decided to experience the Neuschwanstein Castle, which is
There.
where the Disney castle came also.
Yeah, Walt Disney visited Neuschwanstein prior to designing Disneyland, so it definitely inspired the creation of Sleeping Beauty Castle at Disneyland. You can see a lot of similarities in a lot of the towers between the Disneyland
Yes.
Castle and at Neuschwanstein.
So we just did a 2 day extension after our cruise and absolutely loved it in Munich.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was actually sailing on the Magna, which is AMAwaterways' newest ship.
Mm-hmm.
And it has 4 restaurants. So that's a big difference between the Mora. The Mora has 2 restaurants. The 2 added restaurants for the Magna is Jimmy's Wine bar and restaurant, which they serve everything family style. So this is another thing that's kind of neat, that if you go with just a couple, you get to meet other people sitting at your table. They did have options to just sit by yourself as well, but it's really neat to get to meet the other people. And then they also have another restaurant called the Alfresco, which is light Mediterranean cuisine on the Magna. And they
Hmm.
also have larger staterooms because it's the same ship as the Mora, except
Hmm.
double wide.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes the rooms bigger, but they have only a few more rooms than the Mora.
Hmm.
So, which is really nice. They're just bigger
Yeah.
rooms and
Uh-huh.
bigger restaurants and things like that.
And going
And
back to what you said about the communal dining, I think that's so when you're on vacation and you eat with other people at the table, who knows where they're vacationing from. So you could be in Germany having dinner with somebody from Australia. Just being able to see those cultures unite, I think is really exciting. I'll never forget I was 12 years old, came down to Disney World and ate at Tapanito, the Japanese steakhouse restaurant at Epcot, and sat next to some people from the Netherlands. So vacationing is not only an opportunity to meet local cultures, but the other tourists. Is just kind of open up your horizons and learn and meet new people.
yes, we met people from Canada and from England and some from Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to meet new people, you just go up and say, "Do you mind if I sit here?" And
Mm-hmm.
everyone I've ever talked to has been more than happy to eat with, which is really nice. But they also have tables for two and four. So if you decide you want to eat by yourself, you can. So then this Rhine River cruise that we just got back from, we started out in Basel, Switzerland. And the second day we were in Luzerne, Switzerland. Then we went to Strasbourg, France. And the next day we went to Rudesheim, Germany, and absolutely loved it. It was such a quaint little town. We got to tour the romantic Heidelberg Castle and had a special event at night where we got to taste the Rudesheimer coffee, which is amazing. They actually flambe it and was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we spent the night in Rudesheim. And so that was really neat. Also, you could stay out as late as you want in the town. You can get up early the next morning and go. We started in Rudesheim that morning and did a little tour. And then we also got to my favorite part of this day was touring the Rhine Gorge. And we saw 30 different castles on our right and on our left. And just really enjoyed. It was a little cool up on top of the deck, but so worth it. And then that night we got to do the unique Castle Lannec with the all the candles lit up, which was absolutely beautiful. And then our next day we went to Cologne, Germany. We all 30 of us had love locks. So we got to go put our locks on the Lovelock Bridge in Cologne, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of locks on this bridge, and got to go into the cathedral, and it's stunning. Then that evening we sailed on to Amsterdam and got to see all the fields and the sheep and the windmills, and no tulips in November. But they did have a lot of fake tulips adorning the bicycles that are everywhere. You have to beware of the bicycle, that is for sure, because they have the right of way pretty much everywhere. We did a canal cruise and went to the Anne Frank Museum
Oh,
and
that'd be neat.
had an amazing evening out
Mm-hmm.
at a local pub. And just the canals are beautiful, especially with all the Christmas lights lit everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then the next day we went home, and sadly we are back to reality.
And ready to plan the next one.
Right.
Speaking of planning the next one, we do actually have some AMAwaterways promos that can help you anyone out with their next AMAwaterways River Cruise. First off, they offer up to 20% off select sailings through 2026. They actually have their schedules already lined out that far. Again, best opportunity to get the best price is to book early. So don't think 2026 is too far out. Next, they frequently offer Air Plus discounted airfare packaging that with your sailing. Next, they occasionally do offer free pre and post cruise city tour packages. That's if you book directly with AMAwaterways. We talked earlier that if you book with Adventures by Disney, then you can take advantage of the Adventures by Disney escapes, which again are just 2 or 3 day city tours prior to or after your AMAwaterways River Cruise. So you can do it either with Disney, or AMAwaterways does offer those tours as well. Another discount AMAwaterways does offer is military. Buy one, get one free on select sailings. And finally, on select departures, they do offer up to $4,000 per couple off, and also up to $100 per stateroom in onboard credits. If you have any questions about these promos, please reach out to any of the PS Family Vacations agents, and we will be more happy to collect your dates and party size, and we will define the promos that work best for you. Last, coming up is Black Friday next week. I wanted to mention, do not forget Black Friday for travel. It's can definitely be one of the best opportunities with a lot of suppliers to snag those great deals. So another thing to keep in mind is to let your travel agent do that research for you. If you're not sure what Black Friday deals would be best for you, just reach out to any one of our travel agents and let us know. I'm interested in doing Waterways or Royal Caribbean or Norwegian Cruise Line or any of them. Just let us know what you're interested in, and we can let you know what those great Black Friday sales are. So again, if you don't have an agent yet, please simply visit psfamilyvacations.com/quote, and you'll be paired up with any of our incredible travel agents who can make the most out of your vacation needs. And all right, before we wrap up, I want to remind you all, PS You Need a Vacations podcast is proudly sponsored by PS Family Vacations, the dreamers of your next magical getaway. If you'd like to support our content and either not sure where to start your own vacation planning or just don't have the time, please consider benefiting from the experience and enthusiasm of any of the PS Family Vacations travel agents. So to start your Disney, Universal cruise, all-inclusive resort, or European adventure today, please visit psfamilyvacations.com. Well, thank you very much, Amy, for joining this week. I've had an incredible time talking about the wonder of Europe, and you've got me excited. I can't wait to go back.
You're very welcome. It's been so much fun talking about it.
Always. All right. Well, that'll do it for today. Thank you very much for listening. And if you have any suggestions on future topics you'd like us to discuss on the podcast, please leave them in the comments below. So I hope you have a great week. Please subscribe and tune in next week to the PS You Need a Vacation podcast, brought to you by PS Family Vacations.